Welcome guys to a new series to the channel, and a series you've been waiting for me to continue, I'm sure. As after completing Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations and the rest of the trilogy as well, we now move on to a new era, a new defense attorney. Apollo Justice is our ace for this adventure. Our fourth game in the series will begin with the usual weird voices, weird voice acting, let's put it that way, and joviality that we can expect from the crazy characters within. Without further ado, shall we start? You know what I do. Full commentated, action, hopefully not failing as we haven't so far, and many objections. Why does it say skip all text up the top? This is the new 3DS remastered version that just came out as well, so we've got ourselves lovely, crisp art panels. But with that said, we don't want to talk too much before the talking really begins. A new game equals a new case. What will it be? Turnabout Trump. Set the scene for us, game. Set the scene. What will happen? And who will we meet? Showdown time. You lose. Ah! Yeah! I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. A card turned deadly. As we move to April 20th, 9:37 AM. The District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3, of course. Let us begin. Panicked. Palms sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No! I'm loose, I'm fine. That's a screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 AM to do my course of steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gone, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course. And so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. As a familiar face appears. Whoa! Good, morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So you're... Fine. I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend, so why... You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir! Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. At least he's confident. As we move into the district courtroom number 2. I see an old adversary. The court is now in session.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
His hair changes all the time. The defense is, fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Ah, too late.
Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial?
Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really.
Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin?
Yes, Your Honor.
I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case.
That was my intention, yes. However, the defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice.
Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin.
Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. Does he have cords of steel?
Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom.
You hear Mike gulping too.
This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright.
Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright. Piano player. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened?
I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne.
To think, I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains.
Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see.
Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him! Wham! On the head! Smack! Killed him cold!
A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was...
The pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright. A pianist?
This is the weapon that took the victim's life, a bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice.
The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence.
That's been added to our court record, we should check out. And I should probably say pianist correctly rather than pianist. Piano, pianist, pianist. Pianist. Is that a Pinot? I don't know. It's some we know, that's for sure. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. I'll take my chances. Right, the attorney's badge that we know so well. How long did I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready. We can check it and rotate it and do whatever we wish to do. We've got a serial number on the back by the look of it. But it can't be examined. Or maybe it can. There's a number inscribed on the back of the badge. There are many numbers like it, but this one is mine. Proof that I'm an attorney. Why are you doing the rifle thing? To tell the truth, I get a happy feeling inside just looking at it. Right, well, that's cool. The proper badge it is. Why does it say examine round the back there? It's more about the inscription, isn't it? But it's probably saying the exact same thing as before. Right, so we have ourselves Smith's autopsy report. The time of death was around 2 AM, April 17th. Death caused by single blow to forehead. Shadi Smith was the person who died. What a great name. Doesn't sound shady at all. The pun. Age unknown? How do you not know the name? How do you not know the age if you know the name? Estimated time of death was April 17th, between 1:45 AM and 2:15 AM. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhaging. hemorrhaging, resulting from blunt trauma to forehead. I'll get my words right at some point in time. Crime photo 1, the sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. And so we see the scene. Bashed on the head? With his hat on still, weirdly enough. Sure, that would have crumpled it or done something like that. We're obviously going to find something suspicious here. And the other thing is the deadly bottle, the grape juice bottle used as a murder weapon. There's the defendant, Mr. Wright's prince. Grape juice is what we're using instead of vino, are we? Where's the exact prince, to be honest? That's what we're wondering. Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favourite drink. I wonder how well it goes with borscht. That's a good question. Is there something on the bottom? The bottle is completely empty. So just the volume, I guess. It's a bit weird to be completely empty, to be fair. Can't see fingerprints, though. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, the court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action.
So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shadi Smith fellow?
We believe he was a traveller, Your Honour.
A traveller?
According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with a defendant?
That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honour. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
They'd only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing.
That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean.
Gambling, obviously.
As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Oh, wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself.
Oh, they got a real lockdown crime here?
Indeed. It appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
It is true the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honour.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome.
Come again?
The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honour. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women.
That will be our first order of business here then, impressing women. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime.
My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. You should be the one doing the objections, though. So the testimony, the competition. I'm a pianist by trade, and I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. Are you good at it, are you? The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game. And our customers are happy.
A pianist who can't play piano?
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Right, Your Honour. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? Nah, we shouldn't need one. We know to press, and look for a lie. Press some more, and hopefully we can get a little bit of extra testimony. If not, a contradiction. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you better do more than think. You know it, or you do not. I'm fine. The courts are still ready for battle. My weapons. Press and present. Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright? As if Phoenix Wright would never lie. It's up to me to prove it.
The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Sure thing. Let's get to it. Gulp. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. Can you not? Hold it! You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. It's usually all they want, and they don't want you to play anymore. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world at large.
And why are you really at the Bush Bowl Club?
My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all.
Bah! Do I have to take pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine.
Yes. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible? Not really. Well, actually, it's a game of bluffing, so yeah. Mind you, you might find cheating's involved if that's the case, but if the establishment needs it to draw customers, who's saying that doesn't happen? The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. Do people watch? The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It is quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. But black market? All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room.
A smoking room, gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad.
The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, Lagoon keeps watch for the small window. I can practically picture it now. The window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it. But it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in rooms steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. So he says. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. Oh, you can actually see how many bits of the testimony are on the text box now. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards.
That's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor.
Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue.
As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat.
Ha! Yes. A game of hands. What's he talking about now?
This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently.
That's right. It was a simple game after all.
Are you sure?
Huh?
People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime.
Now that's strange.
What's strange?
I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not?
Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony.
Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. Well, that's how the game's played, but you'll learn. You're just a beginner attorney. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Oh, really? Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favour, yes? Great, like I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Huh? Wait, something you said did ring a little strangely, the fact that we have fingerprints on the murder weapon? Just one thing. Now, what was it? When you figure it out, I'd suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts that testimony. A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony? But why? I'd better check the court record. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right, got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to that testimony again. Well, we know it's going to be the last one, but we can skip forward. As we're looking to present a little bit of evidence, I will say I never touched the murder weapon. I feel like we're being baited, don't you? Let's do our first one. Objection! Objection! So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle? Right? So I said.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
Hehehe.
Whoa, nice hair.
Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints.
Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine.
Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant?
Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove...
Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints.
Huh?
But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can only be one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with a bottle. Ah!
Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh, I see no problem. Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see.
Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court?
I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now.
Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Objection!
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something.
And what might that be, Mr. Gavin?
On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police?
Reported?
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still that...
Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at a diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. And this is the phone that made the call?
Wright's cell phone has been added to the court record. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet, he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being.
Toys? I assure you no one is more serious about...
What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this?
That's a good question. How indeed?
The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness.
You're as good as they say you are.
So someone else was in the room the night of the crime? It must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready?
Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand.
A very Russian lady.
The witness will state her name and profession.
Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she's been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns.
Always the hair. So I use a little hair gel. Relax, people.
Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
You are sure?
I swear it on my gavel. Please come out.
Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you're sure it's okay.
Now the prosecution... Wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia?
Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be...
My name is Olga O'Reilly. O'Reilly? Oh, okay, Olga O'Reilly. O'Reilly, Olga. Oh, I'm not going to get over that name now. I'm not going to be able to say it properly. I'm employed as waitress in Borscht Bold Club Waitress. Okay, we've got that accent going, have we? You're authentic Russian. Little bit of skipped English. Not the proper grammar, syntax, etc. We'll get ya.
And why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht at his naming restaurant. But I also perform, how it's said, other service.
I take it one of these other services is taking the customer's pictures?
Da. Like, for example, this one.
That's the defendant.
Indeed, on the night of the murder.
Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput.
Indeed, that is the victim. Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is the same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers, casually.
And the court will casually accept this new evidence.
Olga's photo has now been added to the court record. Well, thank you, Devushka.
Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder?
I was in room, the hideout we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It is room where famous gangster Bajai was arrested. It's room where murder took place. What? Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post my courtroom door later for you. Da. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want a copy of. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime? The victim, Shadi Smith, Mr. Wright, and... Olga O'Reilly. It's actually Olga O'Reilly, but if I see that, I can't not say O'Reilly. And I know that's the... It's Olga O'Reilly. Olga O'Reilly. Our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means...
Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events.
That fateful night. Indeed. Well, a testimony begins. Let's get the music going. The familiar Phoenix Wright music. As we bring an end to our first episode of Apollo Justice. Should be the familiar Phoenix Wright music anymore. We should attribute just to Apollo. With a new cast of characters around, and Olga O'Reilly about to take the stand and give us more testimony. We'll continue this next time. All I can say is thank you for watching the first episode of yet another series in the series. and tune in next time for more. Please like, favorite, share around if you can, or if you will. If you deign to give me that thumbs up, then thank you very much. And you know where to find more every day here on the channel. Craziness continues next time. Bye-bye.